Today I'm going to show you an American thriller film from 2001, titled Joy Ride. Be ready for spoilers ahead. The movie kicks off with Louis planning to travel from California to Colorado to pick up his childhood friend, as well as the girl he likes. Louis even bought a car to impress Venna. So excited to drive a new car, Louis couldn't control himself until a traffic policeman pulled his car over because he was traveling at high speed. After a while of driving, Louis was forced to stop in Salt Lake City on his way after he learned that his older brother, Fuller, had been arrested by the police. Although annoyed that Fuller was often in and out of jail for the crimes he committed, Louis still released his brother, and finally Fuller joined him on a trip to Colorado. When they pulled up to a gas station, Fuller installed a CB radio in Louis' car, and the two began to listen to the truckers' chatter. Fuller then persuaded Louis to prank a truck driver named Rusty Nail and asked him to pretend to be a woman named Candy Cane. At first, Fuller and Louis were just playing pranks on Rusty Nail to relieve boredom while driving long distances. Despite the truck driver's apparent attraction to Candy Cane, Fuller's interest in pranking him intensified. They then arranged a meeting with Rusty Nail at a motel, where Louis and Fuller would spend the night. When Fuller was about to make a reservation, he was standing in line behind an old man who was making a complaint to the motel clerk in an emotional way. Because of this, Fuller came to know the old man's room number. After finally being able to check in, Fuller then returned to the car and asked Louis to seduce Rusty Nail and tell the truck driver that Candy Cane would be at the Lone Star Motel in room number 17, even though room number 17 was the old man's room who got agitated at the motel clerk. Fuller then made a reservation for room 18, the room next door. The brothers couldn't help but laugh when they heard Rusty Nail instantly devour their joke. Fuller peeked through the window and saw a man who had just arrived at the motel, then headed to room number 17. Fuller assumed that the man was Rusty Nail and asked Louis to eavesdrop on the wall. Louis and Fuller heard a brief debate and scuffle in the room, after which there was only an eerie silence. Feeling worried, Louis then contacted the motel clerk and asked about the situation in room number 17. The clerk replied that there was no problem in room number 17 because the room was now vacant. After getting clarity, the two then decided to sleep. The following day, Louis was startled by a policeman who introduced himself as Sheriff Ritter in front of his motel room. The sheriff said they found a man on the highway in critical condition, and after conducting an investigation, police were tipped off that the man had rented room number 17 at the Lone Star Motel last night. Because Louis admitted that they were involved, Sheriff Ritter took them to the hospital and showed the old man, who is now in a coma because his lower jaw was torn. After that, the police questioned the two of them and let them go. Louis and Fuller looked shocked to see the old man's condition, then continued their journey and decided not to bully Rusty Nail again or even anyone. However, Rusty Nail is heard again on CB radio and looking for Candy Cane. Louis then reveals that he is Candy Cane. Rusty Nail then demands an apology, but Fuller curses him instead. Shortly after, Rusty Nail called Louis and Fuller on CB radio and said they needed to fix the taillights, implying that he was following behind them. Knowing that the psychopathic truck driver was following them, Louis stepped on the gas and drove at high speed, but their fuel was running out, so the two decided to stop by the nearest gas station. Fuller quickly refueled the car while Louis rushed into the store, trying to reach Sheriff Ritter. Fuller looked panicked when he saw a large truck coming and stopping at the gas station. He panicked even more when the truck driver got out of the car carrying a baseball bat. When the driver got in, Louis panicked, and Sheriff Ritter couldn't be reached either. When finished, Louis and Fuller stepped on the gas from there in a hurry. The truck driver, carrying the bat, pursued them, forcing Louis to drive his car off the highway. The driver pursued them relentlessly until they found themselves at a stalemate. Too scared to run away in the middle of nowhere, Louis and Fuller chose to stay in the car and locked all the doors and windows. The driver of the big truck then got off and walked over to their vehicle. It turns out the truck driver was a kind stranger, trying to return Louis' credit card, which he had left on the gas station checkout counter. After returning Louis' credit card, the driver left. However, just as he was about to turn around, the real Rusty Nail suddenly appeared in his big truck and collided with the Ice Cube truck. Scared stiff, Louis broke through the wooden roadblocks to avoid the truck driver's pursuit. However, Rusty Nail cornered Louis and Fuller once more, successfully squeezing and slowly crashing Louis' car into a tree. Fearing that the driver would kill them, Fuller hysterically apologized for the prank he had done. After hearing their apologies, Rusty Nail left and stated that his actions were just a joke back. After repairing Louis' car, he and Fuller resumed their journey. Fuller then disposed of the CB radio while traveling to Colorado. Feeling safe, Louis and Fuller then picked up Venna at the University of Colorado. Venna introduced the brothers to a close friend named Charlotte. After picking up Venna, Louis and Fuller continued their journey and decided to spend the night at a motel. The three of them were involved in an incident that almost led to a fight with several men at a bar near the motel. Fortunately, Fuller managed to defuse the altercation, preventing any injuries. After returning to the motel, Louis fell asleep from exhaustion. Not yet sleepy and wanting to unwind, Fuller went to Venna's room and conversed with her while sipping his drink. Later, Louis woke up after hearing the phone ringing repeatedly in his room. Upon answering the phone, Louis was shocked to discover that Rusty Nail had called him from the motel, telling him that he watched the brothers and knew that Venna had joined them. Louis panicked and rushed to Venna's room. He then told Fuller and Venna about Rusty Nail, who knew their whereabouts. The three decide to leave the motel and go as far as possible. However, Rusty Nail can still reach them by leaving instructions on the road sign. Upon noticing the Look Road sign, they halted and proactively examined the car's trunk. It turned out that Rusty Nail had put the CB radio that Fuller had thrown away a few days ago. Rusty Nail radioed them again and revealed that the truck driver had kidnapped Venna's friend while playing Charlotte's voice to the three of them. Rusty Nail threatens to kill Charlotte if they go to the police. The following day, Rusty Nail demanded Louis and Fuller strip completely and enter a restaurant full of customers. This is to make them feel how it feels to be humiliated in front of a crowd. After that, he directed the three toward a cornfield located in a remote area. Rusty Nail then asked the three to get out of the car and walk down the cornfield. Unexpectedly, he drove his big truck toward the three of them at high speed. Reacting swiftly, they sprinted frantically to protect themselves from the insane truck driver who was attempting to kill them. Because they were too focused on running away from each other, the three finally separated. Louis and Fuller finally reunite and decide to find Venna. However, when they return to the vehicle, the frame begins to burn. Louis reaches the CB radio where Rusty Nail says he has kidnapped Venna and asks the brothers to go to the Medford Motel and into room 17. Because Louis' car was burned out, Fuller took the initiative to steal one, and they raced to Medford. Rusty Nail had taken Venna to a room and kept her there. He then sets up a trap that will kill Venna if the bedroom door opens. He even called the police and framed Louis and Fuller for Venna's death. Louis and Fuller finally arrived at the Medford Motel and headed for room number 17. However, it turned out that Rusty Nail was only diverting them to a different room. Fuller assumed that Rusty Nail must be in room 18, then checked through the back window. But Rusty Nail had predicted that and quickly attacked Fuller. Fuller yelled at Louis and told him that Venna was stuck in front of the door with a shotgun pointed at her, so he must not open the front door. At that same moment, the police arrived and began to search the motel. They discovered the deceased motel clerk and proceeded to open each bedroom door one by one. Louis tries to save Fuller, trapped in a fence from Rusty Nail, who tries to run into him. Louis must race against time because he still has to save Venna, who will be killed as soon as the police open the door to room number 18. Louis finally manages to save Fuller and Venna in time, and everyone flees when a large truck crashes into the motel. When police investigated Rusty Nail's truck, they saw an unidentified body in the driver's seat, and Charlotte was alive in the back seat. Venna was very relieved that her friend was still alive, although they both still looked very shocked by the tense incident that had just happened. They immediately received medical treatment in the ambulance. Police later revealed the identity of the truck driver's body to Louis and Fuller, who turned out to be the kind-hearted truck driver who returned Louis' credit card earlier. The film concludes with Louis, Fuller, and Venna hearing Rusty Nail's voice over the CB radio in the ambulance, suggesting that the insane truck driver is still alive and at large. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.